First of all, thank you for the organizers for giving me the opportunity to speak about this research. And it's about medoids, medianoids, and modoids. Statistical parameters are fundamental in data science and machine learning. And center points, like we all know, famous ones are mean, median, mode. And in the middle of the 90s, there was something called medoids, which proposed use in clustering in data science. And it's proximity-based parameter. It does not require to be Euclidean space, vector space. So maybe can you do something about median and mode? So let's put, I'm going to propose medianoids and modoids. Just in case somebody never heard of medoids, so let me first talk about the medoids. Since most audience here is Korean, let's talk about the Korean family name. Do you have Dr. Kim? Thank you. And Dr. Lee? Yeah. Dr. Park? And Dr. Choi, of course, and the rest, right? Okay, so what is who among you think I'm Korean, average Korean person? I think I'm average Korean person. What does that mean? Do you mean mean value? It's a mean question, right? But if you think it's a mean value, that's actually not a person. It's a ghost. The mean, actually median, mode, if you think about any center points of the statistical parameters, they are all ghosts. Okay? We want actual person. Okay? Maybe it could be you, Dr. You, maybe. Okay? But what I mean by the ghost can be best realized by the face recognition system. These are my students 20 years ago, more than. They built a face recognition system and it requires computing mean face. It's a ghost, but we don't want a ghost, right? We want actual person. He's too handsome to be average, right? So we want some average guy. Okay. So how do you compute that? Okay. So first we have to we all know the arithmetic definition of the mean. However, there's a different definition of the mean. It is actually the distance to each point in the space, such that the distance to the odd instance is minimized. That is the mean definition. We're going to change this definition. Instead of any point in the space, ghost, you're going to be actually a member of the data set. Okay. Where it could be that guy whose the distance to the rest of the population is minimized. That is the medoid. Okay. But this does not require, medoid does not require data points to be vector space. Meaning that, okay, let's consider actually this concept was the first used in the middle of the 90s. Maybe concept must be used for a long time ago too, but this is all this one I couldn't find. But let's talk about the let's consider these 12 species of interest. Each animal would be the average, like a mean animal. But typically in data science and machine learning, we represent instance as a vector. But the God did not vectorize us or group size us. Okay? God does not consider what SAT or GPA score to determine what classify who goes to heaven or hell. Okay? No way, right? So what do you do? I think some biologists interested in the sequence theory. When you represent instance as a string, it's not a vector. But once we represent it as a string, or actually there are many other ways to represent instances. But if we represent a string, we can compute pairwise distance. Okay, according to some, there are many ways to determine distance, but we can actually have that. Now we can actually compute the average, which is medoid. Okay. First, we compute, add all those numbers up, and then pick what? The minimum. Okay? That's what the gorilla has to be what? The medoid. That's the average. The kind of average. Actual person. It's not a ghost. That's how we compute medoid. Alright. However, there are many, if you go to biology section, you will see so many different proposals for the proximity measures. But if you use similarity measure, it has to be R max. If it's a distance measure, it has to be R mean. Next, let me talk about the medianoid now. Okay. That medoid has been known for a long time. How about the median? So, the median can be, but first we have to understand what median is, right? So we have to sort them all up and pick the middle one, right? The definition is something like this. And if it's odd case, it's a middle point. With even case, average of two middle guys, right? So similar to the mean, okay, in the multivariate case, mean value is our ghost. Similar to that, median, x-axis median is that guy, y-axis is that guy. So multivariate case, the median value also is a ghost. So can we have something real member to be a median guy? Okay. So median to the medoid, can we have a propose something medianoid? Okay. So let's look at the face recognition system again. The mean face, we can also come to the median face. Looks like a ghostier, right? We don't want that. We want actual person. So here's proposed one. If you have a data point, instances, you can pick the two extreme points to be kings. And then those two kings gonna pick the closest one as a queen, the ones. Okay. And then next closest one to be maybe balls. Okay. Knights. Looks one left. What is it? Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you the medianoid. That could be a possible definition of the medianoid. If we have an even case, we can actually define it using like a computer distance to the king and pick the sum of those two distances slightly smaller, we can pick that as a median. So what's the formula? Let's define it. Okay. What is medianoid? It's a middle line. If first we have to choose two kings, one extreme and another extreme. Okay. Do we have a doctor out here? No, right? But do we? No. What happened? Anyway, okay. First, Dr. Ho would pick the best person, researcher. That's the argument. Distance is minimized with the smart person, right? I would pick the person who I can have a glass of beer with to talk about life for a while. Okay. So, what is the medianoid here? What if I remove them? Those 2 points. If I remove them, the medianoid seems is the same. Okay, so we can have that definition. Okay, we have an x, subtract those 2 points. It's the same, it's a recursion. So using this recursion, we can keep subtracting them. Keep subtracting them, and one left. If it's 1, that guy is the medianoid. Now, what if we have 2 points? We can have a computer distance and add them, and whichever is smaller, we can pick as a medianoid. That's the definition. Now, proposed definition. How about the DNA sequence? Once again, this concept of medianoid can be also used in, does not require data to be vectors, Euclidean space. How about the strings, DNA sequences? So how do you compute medianoid? First, find the maximum. It's a symmetry, so we have 2 values. The 2 extreme points are equals, that's your actual horse. Rectus, that's your rat. Okay? And Now we're gonna focus on those two rows, and then two closest friend to horse is the happen to be the cow and the penis, that's a dog. Next, repeat recursion. Keep picking up. Next. Next. Oh, we have two left. Unfortunately, if you sum those distance up, it's a tie. So you can actually have anything to be a median node between two. That's the proposed median node. Actually, paper I submitted to this conference was about this median nodes. And K-means algorithm is a famous clustering algorithm all time. And people use sometimes, since K-means clustering algorithm suffers from the outlier problem, people propose K-median algorithms. And also, people extend it to, but there has to be Euclidean space. Data must be vectors. However, we can have a K-medoids. Actually, the algorithm called PAM, P-A-M. That's something famous. I've been teaching this for a long time. I got sick of this. Can you combine these two to do better cluster? There was actually proposed one, and after many experiments I conducted, I miserably failed. I couldn't publish this guy. We're looking for a better application of this is the future work, by the way. But once again, thanks for accepting, giving me this opportunity to present median node. Okay. Well, the reason is that if it's extremely sensitive to outliers, I can introduce some upper right corner. One outlier, I can make this king to be a median node. Just one outlier, we can actually compose them. Okay? And so that's my future work to find the actually goodness of this median nodes. Next, how about the modoids? Okay? But by the way, the modoid concept I actually published. Okay? Actually, this new concept called modoids. Mode to modoids. So let's consider this example. It's a timeline. In typical conference, people come. This is a registration desk, and people can compute where is the mean or median. But in this case, mode is people are very interested in because you want to place more people, more volunteers. Okay? Sometimes people don't come. Sometimes people come, but peak time, right? So people are interested, but actually, I published this paper in the FLAIRS conference last year, but 33 was the COVID-19, so it didn't. It was on Zoom only. But last year was the you can come or you can join the Zoom. But what's the worst? There was if you recall, there's a pipeline problem. There's no gas problems. Okay, I was driving down to Florida, and then I looked at the gas station. There's a huge line. Cars, so I returned back home. So this is maybe I watched the Zoom, and that's the frequency of the people coming to the registration desk. Okay. We can actually compute what's the mean and median, but what is the mode? We have a problem. What is the mode here? Okay. But if you run the program, it will actually give you an answer. But what would that be? So we have that problem. So let's define what mode is. Mean, you can just input this data set. For mode, you must compute the histogram. Okay? And you can find the max, which is 4. But that's not what we want. We want argmax of that, which is the argument that makes the value max, which is the 3. This depends. That's the mode. And this concept was Carl Pearson actually named it maximum coordinate in 1895. And he said data distribution must be unit model. But can we assume actual data set, real world application, can we assume that? Answer is no, we cannot. That's the problem. If it's multimodal, each one return conventional mode, each one return that guy. I'm going to show you how we can return something like this, proposed modoid. And also, in the past 10 years, I've been giving homework assignment to test the programming skill of their students and implement this. And there are some students that actually use packages and actually returns that guy as the mode over there. And people got shocked, students got shocked. And if you want to use a package, test at least more than 5. And we test more than 20 famous, you can name it, machine learning, data science, or any statistics packages you use, they all return that guy. Okay? So that's a problem. And let me show you another problem of the mode, the current mode. If you have a real value data, how you quantize it? If you quantize it as 2, 4.5, quantize it as 3, etc. Different quantization values or bandwidths may result in different modes. That's a problem. How do you resolve that? So, in order to solve those problems, let me introduce you concept of density. Dense. Okay? Within radius R. Okay? For the 1, radius 1 would be 6. For 4, radius 1 would be 9. So can you pick something which is the density is higher within that radius? So we can have an algorithm. First, let's consider this data. And if you set the radius to be 0.45, we have times. 3 values have a frequency of 3. Now, those candidates we can recompute by increasing the radius by slightly and 2 left. And finally increase to the 1.05, we have a 1. That guy is what? Highest radius density, and that's the mode. And we actually modoid, okay, to distinguish from mode, conventional mode. So we have a simple definition. Okay, for this simple definition, there's a caveat to consider. Okay, in the worst case scenario, if you keep increase the radius by 1 slightly, they always start and actually equivalent to the entire data set size. Then this caveat should be considered, so you should add one more line over there. Okay, that's when you implement. Okay, so what in this case, conventional mode gonna pick 0 as your mode. This one gonna either 2 or 3 as a proposed modoid. Okay, tied up 2 or 3 gonna have an equivalent. Now, in the TD sequence, we have a data set represented not vectors. Okay, once again, it's very important. Okay, you don't represent the data as your vectors. Okay, then what do you do? Okay, if we have a pairwise distance matrix, what do you do? Okay, I want you to scan through. Okay, radius 0.01. Whoever smaller than that radius, counting, and we have a 6. That's the maximum, and 3 times. So reduce it. And they increment the, sorry. Increments the radius, and then count it. Oh, now we have 1. The gorilla is the modoid. By the way, initial radius has to be, suppose, it's not a ghost by the way. Okay? What if initial radius is 0.17? Okay? If you count it, the pig is not the gorilla. It's actually monoid and canis. So it is like if you have make a radius too big, okay, and these guys might show up as a mode. But if you start from the small, you can actually avoid this kind of case. Okay, we prefer to choosing initial small radius. Start from there is very important. And automatically finding how do you find the radius to start with is probably one of the open problems. Okay? Finally, 3 minutes. I think it's good time for a question. And okay, I'm gonna stop right here. And yeah.